something about Mary. In an era of madmen, Mary Wells was New York's mad woman. Mad meaning madly, wildly gifted. How gifted? Well, her colleagues called her amazing talent Maryology. It was part brains, part instinct, and lots of guts. And it transformed advertising. Her bywords and buzzwords created buzz, and they were hilarious. There was a time in the United States, and we all remember it, when there wasn't anybody who wasn't quoting a Mary Wells ad. Plop, plop, fizz, fizz, as we saw, I can't believe I ate the whole thing. Trust the Midas touch. And when everyone in the country wanted to give the establishment the finger, Mary came up with just the right phrase. Flick your bick. She seemed to know what people wanted before people knew they wanted it. Maybe her deepest talent was getting people, getting them, understanding them, with an uncanny, almost psychic intuition, which she would use to woo her clients. She'd woo them into her web and keep them from getting wander eye, as she put it. Now, speaking of wander eye, there's a great story about Mary that I heard. It's about Mary and the wife of one of her most prized clients. The wife worried that her husband had wander eye for Mary. So Mary threw one of her great dinner parties. It was perfect, as they always were, in every way except one, and that one way was Mary. Mary, for once, showed up with flat hair, no makeup, and a little schmutta of a dress. She sat the wife next to her and charmed her so much that she made that woman her best friend. Now that's genius. Let's face it, there's something about Mary. Let's call it courage. When her boss told her that even though she had earned the job, he wasn't going to make her president because, he said, the clients wouldn't accept a woman at the top. Mary turned around, marched out the door, and started her own firm. Now that's brave enough. But in the first year, when they were barely off the ground, she found the sales office of the GM building, speaking of landmarks. It was just under construction, and she signed a lease. Listen to this, she signed a lease for 2 floors for 3 years. Everybody thought she was crazy. But when the time came to move into the GM building, Wells, Rich and Green needed another half floor. One of Mary's colleagues in the agency told me that Mary always made it fun. Annie said she was, and I can tell you she still is, the most generous person alive. Now here's something else about Mary. In a man's world, she never surrendered her femininity. And through it all, she raised 2 daughters who are both successful and who both love their mother. Now, what more does a woman want? Actually, they want grandchildren, and she has those too. But with all that, Mary's greatest achievement in the eyes and hearts of New Yorkers is the ad campaign that transformed the city. She lifted us up when we were on our knees with just 4 little words, I love New York. And somehow she got every star you can think of to come and act in her ads, from Beverly Sills to Frank Sinatra, even Henry Kissinger. The campaign brought in tourists and gave energy and optimism to a city that had been told, drop dead by the president. And little known, Mary did the campaign as a gift. Taken together, this makes her not just a living landmark, but one who stands as a landmark to living, especially living in New York. So I love New York, and I heart Mary Wells Lawrence.